1. Out of my regular Linux admin job, I'm at the same agency as a maintainer and tech support guy for one of our in-house software, and we have some customers. Yesterday, I had the pleasure of getting an angry accountant waiting at my office door before I even get to work. Already got that before, so no stress.
Hello?
Hello.
We have an unpaid invoice for software.
I turned my back at them while cutting their speech. Invoice? Am I an accountant? You should be able to do that, no?
No, you aren't, but that is an issue related to the technical side of things.
Sitting down and inviting them to do the same, I say, so what is needed of me?
We have a customer, that didn't pay its last invoice, and after contacting them, they're disputing the invoice.
What reason did they advance?
The software hasn't worked since May,
explaining me the issue. I put my seat up and spin the ticketing website up. I've been in charge of that software for 2 years now. We got no report of that. I turned the display to show the summary of ticketing from that customer, especially since May. I don't know your side, but we have a 10,000 invoice on hold, so please. I stand up with them and invite them out. After closing the door, I sit back and pick up the phone. Quiet in rage. Hello, I'd like to get the head of IT, please. Sure.
Hello?
Hello, I'm Stig from the Z Agency. You have bought our software a while back.
Sure, but that was an old colleague. I hate that software, but we're forced to run it.
Your accounting department said that you had the software broken since May, so they wouldn't pay the bill. They gasp audibly.
Yeah, we do. I just didn't want to install your piece of crap since May. We needed so someone trash installed it, and it never worked.
I really hold my anger. Then why not contact us?
We have an internal tech support staff. They should have done that a while back, but they didn't.
Have them send the internal ticket. It's needed to contact support techs to the software as a tech support answer posted in May. Okay, could you now please send a ticket to us for the resolution?
I'm not taking charge of that. I'm branching you to the person that uses that software.
Sure, have a good day. Audible anger.
Bye.
As I was with the person troubleshooting, I get a message they paid the bill at last. That's why having a consensus on what software you want to use is important. If a person doesn't want to support something, they'll trash the software, the person that deals with that software, and eventually come to blatant lying about support personnel. Although in this case they were right, tech support didn't do its job. But they're usually lying. 2. I worked as a teaching assistant on a college course that taught how to build, upgrade, and maintain simple PC systems like you would get at home. The course was 12 weeks, with the first 2 weeks being getting to know the different parts inside a PC. After that was the usual installing Windows, upgrading, fault-finding, simple networking, etc. In any group, there is always one person who will struggle and needs a bit of extra support. This is the one I had to help many times with little hints and nudges to point him in the right direction throughout the whole of the course. I'll call him N. At the start of the lessons, the computers, monitors, keyboards, mice, and all the cables that the class were working with had to be brought out of the storage cupboard and put away again at the end of the lesson, as the room was used for other purposes during the week. Week 11 was typing up the notes you had ready to be added to the electronic test taken on week 12. Week 11 comes around, and the tutor opened up the room for the students to use the word processors to type up their work while the tutor and I set up some simple fault-finding tasks in the teaching room. N comes in and says the computer to type up his work isn't working. We tell him to use another and we will be through shortly. Less than 5 minutes later, he's back. The other computer isn't working either. This is really odd, as the college has an IT team, and the tutor is head of that team. If a computer wasn't working, he'd know. Anyway, I follow N to the other room and ask him to show me which computer he was at. He showed me, and I immediately knew what he had done wrong. The power light was lit on the monitor, but not on the desktop PC. I pressed the power button on the PC, waited for it to put to login, logged in for him, and went back to the teaching room. When I told the tutor of the problem, he just sighed and shook his head. This wasn't the last time N stuck that week. After everyone in the class had a go at fixing the faults we set up, we packed everything away and went back to the other room to work on our teaching notes and help those that were struggling. UN. We could hear a lot of grunting coming from a corner of the room where N was sitting. The grunts quickly got louder, and then the banging started. One extremely loud grunt, followed by what sounded like a fist bashing the keyboard, and the tutor and I quickly rushed over to see what was wrong. N was so frustrated he was sweating, and saying that the text won't go down the page. I asked what he meant, and he pointed to a paragraph on the screen. He said he wanted that bit lowered down so he could put something above it. Then started bashing away on the spacebar. "See," he said, "it's not moving." Instead of pressing the return key to advance the line, he'd been adding spaces. It turns out N had a PC at home that he had never used, so joined the course to learn how to use it. 3. A bit of background. This happened more than a few years ago when I was still at phone support. We served one of the bigger companies that owned a particular high-end mall in our city. This includes their Windows XP and, yes, Windows 7 had been out for ages machines they ran for their point of sale. Roughly paraphrased, heck, it has been a few years, translated for your benefit and dramatized, also for your benefit. Hello, this is tech support. You're talking to OP. Hi, this is BC from store such and such. I need you to do some techie stuff and grant me admin access. I can't run this USB because it keeps asking for a password. I'm sorry, did you say USB? What are you trying to run? I assume you mean at the back office computer. It's a bank USB, and no, I'm at the point of sale. I'm not quite following. What kind of USB was it? Where did you get it? Listen, I have a gentleman here waiting. I don't have time for this. Just do your thing and fix the access. It's a big sale and he's in a hurry. I understand, but per company policy, we need to ask these questions for administrative access. So please just explain what it is you're trying to do and why. At this point, I've connected to the point of sale to check what's up. It was the old-fashioned login to grant admin pop-up and a drive open with an icon literally just named back.exe. I could hear her sigh. Look, this gentleman is a diplomat from China, just bought 40,000 or something worth of jewelry. He needed us to open his bank program to authorize a transfer to our point of sale. When I try to do that, it keeps asking for administrator login. I was gasping in shock at this stupidity, and my colleagues already put on the speaker on my phone. Okay, thank you. Unfortunately, this program is not in the pre-authorized list of applications we're allowed to install. There's no such list. No app is ever to be installed or run on the point of sale that is not in the default image. So I'll have to send this for approval. You can't wait for that. I'm going to miss a huge sale, and I'll make sure they know you're the cause. Just give me the access. Sorry, I need to follow policy, but I'll make sure to go directly to the IT director of the company to get this fast-tracked. Got some more rants, and we finally hung up. I did send an email to the IT director with all of the details. The girl, who was probably around 25, not only ran the program on the point of sale, but then called to demand admin access. Looked her up in the system a few months later. Her account terminated. Usually they inactivate most accounts to make it easier to rehire and seasonal work. 4. It finally happened. I was quite lucky, only having to install Sims every other month on my wife's laptop. Stupid admin pop-up again. Why can't I have admin rights? Because you can't even next finish a simple installer. I got a dagger stare for that one. Ooh. My career is not related to tech support at all, But like every self-respecting geek who grew up in the 90s, I'm handy around most tech, which I was able to hide from my family so far. Fast forward to today, I'm chilling in my beanbag, quietly cursing the sadists behind advent of code, when my mom and wife are talking and trying to keep my daughter both alive and entertained. Not an easy job. My mom notices that I have a new laptop I'm using and asks if I got it for Christmas. Quite an innocent question. Then my wife starts bragging that it's her old laptop I saved from the junk pile, with a simple battery replacement. My mom suddenly goes into a tirade how shitty her current personal laptop is. It's slow, overheats, and runs a self-diagnostic on every boot with some warning. She even took it to the IT guys at her work. Remember, personal hardware. And they were so rude, they refused to help her. She only spilled some coffee on it, It's not that sticky and covered in nail polish mixed with cigarette ash. After this bombardment, she looks at me expectantly. You can fix it for me, right? I started to weigh my options here. A, I can go over and try to save that poor machine, probably filled with all kind of nasty, battery dying, dust mixed with sugar clinging to everything. B, tell her to stop bothering the IT guys at work, go to a repair place who will probably refuse service or rip her off. C, with a sigh, I looked for a Windows 10 installation media in my drawers, plugged it into the brand new laptop I'm using, and asked her to bathe her granddaughter while the installation finishes. Now I am listening to Cortana's stupid questions, while promising myself that this time I will create a fresh image with all necessary software installed, or at least a chocolatey deployment script. Probably won't happen, like in the past times. Merry Christmas, Mom, and thank you, secretly, as I now have a good excuse for my wife why I need a new gaming laptop. Bonus story. There was a stupid Mahjong game my mom loved way back. It was a trial version with 30 days. Uninstalling and reinstalling didn't work, obviously. However, I quickly figured out if I delete all registry entries related to the game, the counter will restart. A couple years later, I went to university, and unsurprisingly, my phone rang in about 2 weeks in. It was my mom. Mahjong is not working. I try to give as simple instructions as possible. Open Start menu, click on Run, type in regedit, then press Enter. Once the registry editor is open, press F3. Type PGMJ in the search field, press Enter, delete the entry, repeat until there are no more entries. Mom said she got it, hangs up. Phone rings again 5 minutes later. I deleted regedit.exe, but the game still isn't working. Can you fix it? Told her to look for HOMM3.exe on my PC, and we will talk about Mahjong when I get home for Christmas. She hasn't played Mahjong since then, but regularly beats me in all the Heroes games. Sometimes even in Civ. Perks of being a semi-retired widow with way too much time on her hands, I guess. 5. I used to work at a company that did on-site remote services for residential clients. We get calls from random people wanting something fixed at their house for a premium. Usually, people are really happy to see me, as I spend a lot of time catering and being really nice to their needs. Anyway, we get a call and a wealthy client, as I mentioned, needed help with his computer. I think nothing of it and go over to his house. I start talking to him, and the first thing I realized was that he was very angry about something. You could tell by his tone. Usually what I do in this type of situation is I let them know that I got them taken care of, and that they can ease their worries, or just being sympathetic to their issue. Unfortunately, this person had some sort of issue with his lawyers, and he wanted to make a Word document. Sit down. Sit down right there. Yeah, right there. I sat down at his office. It was very opulent, but the monitor was raised up uncomfortably high, where I would need to look up to see what I'm typing on the monitor. Generally, slight discomfort was common. A lot of people really don't spend that much time on their computer, especially people who call us. Okay, sir, what would you like me to do? I want you to send something to my lawyer. Type this now. He was getting more exacerbated by the minute as he was talking about his lousy lawyer, and instructing me what he wanted me to do. I was scrambling to do what he was asking me to do, because he was very scatterbrained. He was yelling right next to me, clearly angry. Type! I had a Word document open, ready to type what he was saying. Client requested me to type, "You are fired. Henceforth," can you make it any bigger? Yeah, and bold it, 72-point font, yes! During this moment, I was asking questions going back and forth, usually regarding the Word document and emailing it. Guy only had Windows Mail and WordPad. I was saying something regarding that, but I'm not sure exactly what I was in the middle of saying, but it was something like this. Sir, do you want me to... He screamed right in the middle when I was asking a question. Like, not his regular yelling or anger towards his lawyers. He screamed without prompt right next to me with bulging eyes. I stared at him, wide-eyed, pretty terrified at this point. We were quiet for a good 5 seconds after he screamed. I'll never forget it because it was so out of nowhere. This was when I became genuinely terrified of my own safety. Can you grab my glasses out of that box right there? I went over to grab the glasses after I feel like he calmed down from his rage-filled scream, and I opened the box to see pills, a knife, some weed. This was very strange, as clients never show you their weed, or even a knife. Was a bit worried about the knife, but he didn't make any sudden moves. Everything was prim and proper at our company, and we just wouldn't be dealing with that. I was pretty terrified at this point, so I did everything I could to wrap up the appointment, took the money, and immediately bolted where I told my boss that I would never be assisting that guy again. It simply isn't worth the money, boss. The company subsequently fired him as a client. Hey everybody, Hellfreezer here, and thank you very much for listening to Terrific Tales of Technology, episode 23. And thank you very much to everybody who allowed me to use their stories in this video. If you enjoyed the video, then please do share it around to all your friends and family. It's the first day of the new year. Let's start as we mean to go on. Get them numbers going up. You can't tell, but I was dancing as I said that. Right, now, a little late as I did this, but I recorded ahead of time. I'd like to give a little birthday shout out to my moderator, Shigar, aka Shigar Gaming Central. You can find his YouTube and Twitch channels under the same name. I didn't say that last part. Shh, don't tell anyone. He was a very good boy last year, so he deserves all the love and hugs and happiness. I've decided that as his birthday was toward the end of December, we're going to have all of January to celebrate as well, because I am apparently the king of birthdays and I can do that now. No one voted for me. Ah, well. Right, before we go on, I would of course like to sing Happy Birthday to Shigar, so here we go. Me, 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 me. La, 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 la. Oh. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Shigar. Happy birthday to you. We love you, bud. Take care. And as it is his birthday month, I will refrain from trying to clone his dog until February, where I will resume my attempts. Alrighty, let's see. This is now 2022. I almost said 2023. I almost skipped a year. Am I allowed to do that? My goodness, what could I do with this power? Probably cook microwave burritos even quicker. Yes. Quite frankly, most superpowers would probably be used that way. You wouldn't get a lot of superheroes, no. Local butcher gets super speed, really fast butcher. Local dance instructor learns how to fly. Well, they'd fly to the studio, then teach you, and then fly home. That's likely what would happen. But that's a discussion for another day. I'm going to stop my ramblings there for now, and I will resume them in the next video. So until next time, thank you very much for listening, and take very good care of yourselves.